A 9-minute period of gold is what the Hawks delivered to open their game against the Tigers before running out 63-point winners, having led at 50 points at quarter time and well and truly putting the game to bed early. We're not really going to be talking a whole lot about the second and third quarters, I don't think. Let's just go with treading water. Stick them in the bin. Don't matter. Don't count. The Hawks do their finals chances, no harm in the slightest. If only West Coast could have put up a fight against the Blues, we would be sitting with a little bit less anxiety right now. But our destiny is in our hands, and the Hawks took care of business with a 9-goal 3-57 to 1-goal 1-7 first quarter before putting the foot on the throat of the Tigers late in the last and piling on some junk time scores. It's a lot to get through. This is Talking Hawks fan livestream post the Sunday afternoon clash at the MCG, in which the Bureau of Meteorology came up with some rain forecasts. None came throughout the game, and the Hawks forward half feasted. Their midfield brigade took over, and a couple of defenders I think deserve a lot of love. I'm not going to be doing this single-handedly all night though. Chris will be joining me live from coming back from the MCG. Looking forward to his insights from the game. But guys, you know this. When Daz is on the buttons and he's getting the comments going, you've only got one task and one task only. And that is make my job difficult. Make it hard. And the only way you can do that is by getting into the comments and giving me all of your questions, your feedback, your thoughts. Answer the questions as we go through. I am pumped to see what you guys are going to come up with. It has been a while since I've been on here. So, looking forward to it in a great way. And Fred, yeah, you summed up the intro quite nicely, my friend. I think lairising is a good word. I don't really know how detrimental it was, and I'll give my opinion on that a little bit later on, given that I really don't think the second and third quarters are that big of a deal, and I think a lot to do with that is the psychology of the opposition. We are not going to be facing opponents that are going to let us do what they want. Therefore, we are not going to be able to be less than 100%. Therefore, I don't think. Maybe outside of next week, we shall see how we start that game. The Hawks are going to play that badly for consecutive quarters in September if we get there. And yeah, Nick, I'll jump in on here, mate. I don't think any margin, given the way that second quarter went, especially the last sort of 10 minutes of that second quarter. I don't think any margin would have been enough, unfortunately, but it did feel like that a little bit. I kind of came away thinking, geez, we've won by 63 points. I'm not sure how thrilled I feel, but no, very, very happy, and I think you guys are as well, which we love. Now, unfortunately, we didn't come out of the game unscathed with, of course, our afternoon beginning with Will Day. Unfortunately, Jai getting knocked into Will. Now, the good news is that he has been cleared of any structural damage to the bone in his collarbone, or any structural damage to his collarbone from a bone point of view. What that means for potential bruising is still there, could still happen, but doesn't look like a break and very unlikely to be a fracture as well. So what does that mean from someone that's not a doctor? A potential 2 to 3 month recovery time. Could be significantly less than that. And given that we've got Sis, who's playing with a bung shoulder, I'm not suggesting we play blokes in finals that are 70%, 80%, but Wilbur is going to be a big factor in what we can do in September. So to whichever footy god is listening to me right now, please make sure Will Day is okay. He wasn't the only one, though, with some medical distress throughout this game. Jack Scrimshaw looks to have a dislocated finger, so fingers crossed he will be okay. Usually dislocated fingers aren't injuries that keep players out for a significant period of time, and I am no believer in resting healthy guys. I don't think Sam Mitchell will be either, considering nothing is secure so far. And Jai Newcoombe took a pretty significant knee to the back, which I think was a greater injury than the way he landed. For those of that were on the commentary or listening to Channel 7, kind of sounded like they were worried because of the way his legs and ankles landed there and then eventually slid once the contact was made. Maybe we're worried about a hyperextension of the knee, or maybe even some ankle damage. He looked okay when he took that ball on the half-forward flank and delivered to Colshadir or Gunners, one of the two. I think it might have been Gunners. Late in that fourth quarter. So fingers crossed that's just a knee to the back and Jai is okay. And of course, Sis still playing with his bung shoulder. Possibly had the worst. He was probably the only player who had a bad first quarter. Poor Sis, but he's getting through the skipper. We love him for it. And we need he and Will Day up and firing absolutely, with the vice-captain Luke Bruce coming on for some much-needed leadership down forward as well. So, my goodness me. Now, Craig, I'm not going to make this all about me, mate, in the slightest, but I remember putting on Twitter, has the Warpedo been the most underrated Hawk this year? Now, thankfully, a lot of Hawks fans agreed with that, which is good, for two reasons. One, there are some Hawthorn fans that are very unhappy with me on Twitter, but alas, the second reason why that's cool is that we don't really want our Hawks players being underrated. We want our fans, because, mainstream media can only keep track of so many players, and let's face it, they have to get through their Nick Dacos love before they get to the Hawks. To notice, but a lot of Hawthorn fans are giving Jimmy Warple a lot of love, and I thought he and Jai were outstanding. I thought Carl Amon hasn't played too many better defensive games than that either. Scrimshaw was unbelievable. I think he went at 94%, but a decent shout there for Warple. Absolutely, and at the end of the day, when we have a win, Anth, I'm with you. What more do we need to say than that? Sometimes. Shane, g'day, great man. Absolutely. Cody knows what's up. We've been dealing with some things, but let's go. Day has a bruised shoulder, which I've never thought I'd celebrate a bruised shoulder, but thank goodness. MJ, good to see you, my friend. Con, whoa. Now, my friends, we still have one man that could stuff this season up for us. And it's Clarko. So let's not be taking this, oh, look what they did against the Dogs, Daz. I know. But until that comes around, 1:45 on Saturday here in Victoria, we never know. But I'll tell you what I do know, and that is that I will no longer be doing the live stream alone, because one of the main men, and one of my absolute favourites, Chris, is here. The great man. I'm going to get us set up properly because I don't think you're in frame at the moment. I don't know what's going on here, but we'll fix it quickly, mate. How are you if you can hear me? And if you can't, I'll make sure you can very shortly. There we go. I think you're here.
Hello, mate. But I've got last week's celebrations there. Haven't seen this week's celebrations yet.
Love it. How are you, mate? And how was it today?
Yeah, it was good. Didn't know what the crowd number would sort of be like with the Richmond squad, not
jumping
travelling
off
so well. But no, it was good numbers. But that first quarter, what a blowaway! That was brilliant,
mate. Absolutely, it was. It was astonishing. The missus got up to tend to the little bloke, and then she went to the bathroom, and she came back, and she went, "When I got up, it was 13-7. It's now 47. What's happened here?" And I've just looked at her and gone, "Oh, you don't need to know what's happened. Just enjoy it." As I did. A little bit difficult with the little bloke to get as animated as I want to. Daz may not be the most PG supporter in the land, so I've had to tone that back, mate. But the fist pumping, I'm telling you, extraordinary.
That was good, and I could actually celebrate today. Not being in the box with Timmy and being in the media box and got to be impartial and can't make noise. So it was nice to be in the crowd and actually make some noise.
Mate, absolutely. And Riley, I think you summed it up best, mate. First quarter was faultless. I mean, the Tigers did kick the first, Chris, and I don't know about you, but that's just not on, to be honest. If there's one blemish, I think it's that.
We got the first forward 50 entry. We're like, yes, we're on. And then went down the other end and Richmond scored. And me and Matt just laughed and was just like, nah. They did that with Dusty. Dusty kicked the first goal, and then we just turned it on, and we repeated that dose in the first quarter.
Absolutely. I love this from Timmy, mate. I want your thoughts on this. We've come away with a 63-point win, and the fact that there's still room for improvement. Now, I think I'm going to make an assumption here, Timmy, on your behalf. I hope you forgive me. I see that as a massive, massive tick. Cool. We got the job done. Still heaps to get better at. Mate, if 63 points is the floor, what's the ceiling? Seriously.
Well, I was looking at that scoreboard and we just missed that 20-goal mark. But what was it? It was 30-odd, 36 scoring shots or something like that. So, not fast at the end result. To win by that margin and not be have a lot of holes, not holes, but just room for improvement, like you said.
Yeah, I think so. It's a 63-point win, mate, and it's adequate. And I just want to take you back to round 7 this year when the Hawks fronted up against the Swans, and I just want to compare. This is why I love footy in a massive way, mate. Could you imagine when we walked off the MCG when the Swans have beaten us 118-42? If we had said to Hawthorn fans, now look, 4.5 months from now, you're going to win a game by 10.5 goals. And you're going to feel disappointed. Mate, from a fan standpoint, mate, this is extraordinary.
Yeah, the level of expectation has risen. And, like you said, now we're disappointed with that. Very happy with how we're travelling. And, I'm still not a lot of supporters getting a bit carried away, but I'm just 1 week at a time. I know we're likely to win next week, but just let's get the job done first and then celebrate.
Mate, absolutely they did. Colshire, mate, that last vertical leap, I swear he hit the trampolining part of the G. Like, he just hit that spot and he just went up. He took a hanger without a stepladder. It's extraordinary the way he got up there.
Yeah, the way he launches the ball is next to none. I don't even know how he does it, but I loved his goal. Scrapping in the goal square, and then he just, from out of nowhere, just stood up and kicked it. The way he gets to his feet so quickly, I reckon he'd be a really good surfboard. What do you reckon? Get up on the surfboard?
I think so.
Ride those waves?
This is how different you and I are, great man, and I love it about us. Is my initial thought was back when they used to do the 4X Gold beach cricket. I don't know if you remember that. It used to be on Channel 10. But before that, they used to have the Triple X beach games where you'd have to lie flat on your belly, get up, turn around, and sprint towards the flags. Mate, Colshire, send it. That should be the sport in the Olympics, and we should just send Colshire. Mate, he's got the gold in the bag. Noah Lyles, who? Come on.
Would win it hands down, wouldn't he?
Mate, absolutely he would. Craig, I think Craig's dominating at this point. Mate, Gunners, 5. Now, my missus is trying to take credit for his resurrection this year, but the great man, he's getting it done. He truly is the dad of that forward line and delivered in a big way today when a lot of our other forwards might have had a bit more lackadaisical nature of goal kicking today. He was spot on.
Yeah, kicking them from all angles, but I was just impressed with the way he played out 4 quarters. Him and Brewster, really. Bruce come on early, ran out the game well. So, pretty happy with their contribution and, looking good come finals time, aren't we?
Mate, we absolutely are. Now, I'm going to float this question to you. Now, Hawthorn fans, I have a bunch more messages to get to, so please keep filling them up and I'll get there. But I'm going to float this to Chris, get your answers in, and we'll go from there. Chris, out of all the teams that are currently in the 8, so you can't chicken out and say Freo, because they're not in the 8. If you could pick, who are we playing in week 1? I'm not saying we're guaranteed to win, so we can't go Geelong so we can get rid of them. 50-50, result not influenced. If you could pick, who would we play in week 1 and where?
Oh, you clearly want a home final. I think Carlton would be an easy win, but I don't really want the easy win.
You don't
know. Bulldogs are scaring me the most, I think, out of all teams at home. I'd hate to play GWS away again, I think.
I'd hate to play them at Giant Stadium. Yeah, them all Brisbane at the Gabba scare the pants off me.
Who else? Who's sitting in
Geelong?
Fifth?
Port. Geelong, Brisbane.
Port. They're just all winnable, but not comfortable.
Yeah, not feeling comfortable at all. Now, mate, we're going to have to break some
hearts. Give me Port at the MCG.
Port at the G. I like it. Now, we're going to have to break some hearts here, mate, because unfortunately, he ain't getting it. I would love to. Hawthorn fans, I would love to. But unfortunately, Joel Freyer for the Doggies against North had 27 touches and took 13 marks off half-back. Gonna be pretty hard to ignore that, unfortunately. So, look, Cal and the Wizard can fight it out next week. Best performance wins.
I feel like last week he was snubbed because who won it last week?
Nate Caddy.
Caddy, yeah. And he won't be qualified next year, will he?
No, he won't. No, too many games.
So
Yeah,
that's
you
why
can't
I
play
feel
more
like
than 10.
they've snuck Caddy in this year, and then Kaushka will be still eligible next year, won't he?
No, more than 10 games. Yeah, out. So Cole's just played
Yes, 10
14.
games.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a bit tough, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit stiff, but hey, look, Cyril got robbed of one, and I think it worked out pretty well there, so no stress. And they picked Lewis Taylor over Marcus Bontempelli. So how much credence do we want to give this award? They gave it to Andy McGrath over Ryan Burton. So pretty much if a Hawk comes second in the Rising Star, we're going pretty well, actually, if you think about it that way. Mate, this was. I'd love to know of all the moments at the game, and there would be plenty of them. The pocket to pocket. I think it was the Wizard to Chol, and then Cholly hit the belly of the ball. And you're that far ahead, you can't help but laugh. But was there that 1% of you that's just going, guys, there's 2 sticks here. Just, come on. let's keep putting the foot down. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it was a bit of party time, and they had a bit of fun. Had a bit of fun,
mate. Absolutely. Now, Fred. Fred's coming out with positives, Chris. This is how we know we're flying, my friend.
Yes.
But
nice.
Jimmy Warple, his ability he looks like he's going to rush. The amount of times where he rushes and he hesitates and he pauses and makes the right decision, mate, has been the biggest improver in his game for mine. Is it noticeable at the ground that he seems to have more time than he ever has?
Absolutely. Yep. No, without a doubt. Making the right decision more times than not. And that was a bit of a bit of worry at times in the past, and just lowering the eyes as well. He's really improved his deficiencies this year.
Yeah, I think so. Cody brings up a really good question here. Warps will poll very well in the PCM. Now, I reckon it's just 1 and 2. He and Dylan Moore. I think Dylan Moore's going to win it, but let's be honest, I'm CEO of the Dylan Moore fan club, and I'm going to send a cease and desist to Liam's house if he keeps telling me he is, because he's not. Liam, you're me 2 IC, my friend, but it's 1 and 2, mate. First question, who wins it? And then who comes third? Because it feels like there's 12 blokes that could come third.
Due to that early season form by Warps in that first 5 rounds where he carried the midfield, he's going to be that far in front early on. He lacked in the middle, but he's come back strong. So Daisy's obviously had a bit of a comeback, but I don't think he's going to be finished that high in the end. John Newcoombe will poll well.
Am I crazy for thinking... Yeah, the 2 that I was going to mention, one was Mass and the other one was Big Lloyd, who I reckon could just be that guy who we go, yeah, he really was good. And then the coaches go, yeah, he was really good. I think of Dimmer in 2018 when he came second, and even Hawthorn fans went, who? Like a little bit in that way, with respect. I feel like we could do a little bit of the same with Lloyd here.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, he had an outstanding period. Well, really hasn't stopped. Every game he's played since he came into the team, he hasn't missed a beat.
Mate, absolutely not. Now, we got Brooke, we got Tom that are chiming in. G'day, lads. Good to see you. One and all, Jay, as well, in terms of the lads there. Appreciate you jumping on. Oh, mate, we've got the love for Colsha Deer is extraordinary, mate. Here's actually, I know I'm throwing a lot of questions to you apropos of nothing, mate, because we don't have a whole lot of time to prepare when we've got a Melbourne game. Who wins Hawthorn's best first-year player? Nick Watson or Colsha Deer? Because I put this poll on Twitter, and it was literally 52 votes each. So, can't go wrong. You can't have an incorrect answer, and Massimo doesn't count because it's first year on a list, not first year on our list, just in case.
Probably going Kelsa due to just the expectation and where he come from. I guess Nick Watson had that expectation being a high draft pick, then that's not a real good reason, but I'm probably going to give it to Dia just for that reason that he's come so much further in a short period of time.
Yeah, for sure. Don't mind this comparison, Chris, but Jai, the haircut, mate. It's the boy from Poowong. We're trying to make him a short back and sides man, Chris. I'm not sure about it.
I don't mind the change, but I think he needs to go see a new barber.
That's
sorry, Jai.
Boy.
Yeah,
oh boy, we love him though. He's our man. He is our man in a massive way. All right. Oh, no, Timmy, I appreciate that you let me make an assumption on your behalf, my friend. I appreciate that in a massive way. For everyone that's jumping in late, if you're thinking, geez, Daz, you're skipping over me questions, I promise you it's because we've already answered them, guys. Is Newcoombe okay? Looks to be Knee in the back, fingers crossed nothing bad's happened there. Tom's stealing me Twitter content, so thanks for that, Tommy. Don't get carried away. Well, we're not. Chris, all I'm saying is that we're winning the flag. That's not getting carried away. Getting carried away would be saying we'd be winning the next 5 flags. We're not. We're winning the next 4. So, mate, relax. We're not getting out of hand here. My goodness.
Well said, mate. Well said.
Yeah, nah, Jay, that's okay. I only take your first comment, mate. This is like a game show. Can only accept your first question. David, mate, I'm with you. And Chris, here's a question that I kind of want to ask you, mate. Last time, or if any Hawks fans know, last time we kicked, or actually the last 2 times, we kicked 8 goals in the first quarter at the G. We've done it twice, both in finals. Do you want to have a crack at which one they could be? One of them you definitely know, and one of them's a bit obscure. Think classic grand finals, my friend, and I reckon you could get there.
Okay, so it'd be 89 you're talking?
It would be. Yep, absolutely. And the 2015 semi against Adelaide kicked 8 goals 4, actually, in both of those semi-final first quarters, but 9 goals 3. Edward's going to the game next week. Are you going to be able to make it down to Tassie, mate?
Oh, we discussed it, but no, not on this occasion. No, I think Loz is going down.
Now, Loz will be there with bells on. Absolutely, they will be. She will be, I should say. My goodness me. Now, I was planning to go, mate, and then the AFL just decided, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to delay the fixture release by 9 days and just screw the majority of people's travel plans because we are a professional sporting organisation and we do things properly.
Well, what's the point when they got a week off? Haven't they got a week off between finals?
They do, yep.
So why delay it? Like, there's no advantage for having an extra day's rest, is there?
Don't know, mate. Don't know.
Silly.
My goodness. They'll say they delayed it because they didn't know which games would suit which time. Well, if you want to have a crack at that, I've got an answer for you. Release the whole fixture at once. You don't have to worry about it at all. Anyone but the Cats. A lot of dogs for the who would we rather play? Blues.
I think dogs are dangerous.
I think so. I mean, we do match up well against them, Jeb, and it would be unreal that we would play an interstate team 3 times in 1 year at 3 different locations. Tassie, Manuka, and either Giant Stadium or the G. Should be pretty cool. Don't know if we've ever done that, but that's just a brain that is working too hard. I feel like, yeah, Jason, we know we got to get there, mate. But if we jump on the live stream and we go, hey, guys, let's temper expectations. We've got to get over the ruse. I feel like all of you would turn around and go, geez, Daz is extra pessimistic today. And I'm already pessimistic enough, guys, let me tell you. But, oh boy, mate, I'm excited.
Good pick up, Tim. I don't know if it was on the audio from the coverage, but yeah, we noticed Scrimshaw come off within 30 seconds of the quarter with that finger. Went down to the rooms.
Dislocated finger, yeah. No,
Did the commentators call that one out, Daz?
Yeah, they picked up on it nicely. Yep, for sure. Would love to play the Cats in the first final if we make it. Now, Jay, the only question I've got to ask you, my friend, is could you live with it if they beat us? Because they've beaten us twice this year. Once when we were bad and once when we were good. So, there we go. Dalton, let me ask you this question. Does weather play a factor? I would love nothing more than to play the Bulldogs in the wet. That would be awesome.
Yeah, they're talking about.
Don't think Sam Darcy's kicking 7 in the wet. Let me tell you.
Carlton's percentage gave it a bit of a shake-up, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. James, just to answer your question and to update anyone that jumps in late, cleared of a break via Mitch Cleary, which is good. Further scans will determine the extent of his injury.
Fantastic.
Now, I would argue the Warpedo is back. He didn't really disappear anywhere. He went from outstanding to solid, and he's back to awesome at this point in time. The Warpedo. Now, Chris,
thought Nash, played a great game too, mate.
Yes,
doesn't get
agreed.
The kudos he deserves.
Mate, can you get out of my head? Was literally going to be my next sentence. I was going to be like, can we give some love to the Irishman? And you've just jumped in there beautifully. Mate, outstanding he is.
Run away with it, mate. Run away with it.
Is there a bloke, if I said to you, a decent amount, let's say like 10 grand tomorrow, you got to get tackled by an AFL player, and Connor Nash was the player, right? How much extra would it take for him to have a run-up and to just run through you? How much extra would it take?
Yeah,
Because let's be honest,
that.
yeah, it would be. I would say a significant raise. Now, Con, you bring up an interesting point here, because the All Australian selectors did something I didn't know an AFL panel was able to do, and that was their job. Because they picked 2 wingmen last year, Errol and Josh Dacos. Now, I think personally they're going to put Errol on a wing in that. He's an outside mid and, his CBA numbers are still higher than last year, but if we can live with that. If they do pick another winger, they may not. They may end up just putting Zach Merritt on a wing just as a cop-out, which I hope they don't do. Mass v. Blake Acres, and that is a close conversation as to who that is, mate. But my question to you is, squad lock, yes or no? As in, will you be upset if Massimo's not in the squad? Or 44, I think it is now, not just 40.
I think we all know that he deserves to be in, so whether he's in or not doesn't matter. But it'll hurt. But as long as your man is named on the park, I'm sure it'll be all right. Because
I'll tell you what, if Dylan Moore is not named, if Dylan Moore goes blazerless, mate, you have no idea the fury and the wrath that I will rain down upon this league, I'm telling you.
Absolute riot.
Oh my goodness. Frosty or Scrim should finish top 5. Why not both? Why not? I'll never understand how AFL player ratings work, because of every player in the competition that's played at least 16 games, Sam Frost is the 14th rated worst player. And I think it's only because he doesn't get the footy.
Yeah,
but
purely
that has to be just a flawed system, because that's extraordinary. A lot of love for Col Shadir in the best first-year player awards. Don't mind that at all. Deer by nose. I owe someone $20 for whoever's written that, so I appreciate that. Tommy, I got $20 coming your way, my friend. I don't do cash, mainly because I live in Gippsland, so it's going to be pretty hard for me to give it to you. Watson's tenacity and defensive pressure acts remind me of Puopolo. Might be a bit quicker than Poppy, but I don't mind the comparison. Once he gets out of his own head in terms of accuracy in front of goal, he'll be a gun. Well, he went from couldn't kick a set shot to save his life to now he can't snap from a set shot. He hits the belly more than a pig, mate.
He's done well. It's totally forgotten, isn't it? All those misses. It doesn't even get in his head now. I think it's just he's back to his natural game and he's just putting them through.
Mate, absolutely. If Will doesn't play next week... Oh, I've lost the comment. If Will doesn't play next week, who comes in for him? I think CJ is the obvious answer, mate. Have you got... I know Seamus Mitchell was pretty dominant for...
38 touches or something.
Box Hill, 37 and 2 I think he had, which is just stupid.
Could work, because he would fit straight into that back line and just push someone up the ground further.
Yeah.
And said CJ could do the same, really.
Just rolling on a win. See, I love, and I'm not picking on the comment here. I love the did kind of expect more, because coming out of that first quarter, we went, oh, mate, mental scars. No. We're fine. Don't stress, we're fine. Mate, 15 minutes into that second quarter, I don't know what it was like at the ground or if you were amongst the Hawthorn faithful, where we just kind of went, can we have a mercy rule? Just call it off here. Let's just walk off the ground. We can go home early. Was it that kind of vibe? Because that's what it was like down in the southern parts of Gippsland out at my joint, mate.
Considering the Tigers kicked the first goal, I think we had 3 and there was 5 minutes into the game or something like that. I just kept looking up at the clock every time we scored a goal. I think we'd kicked 6 goals in 15 minutes. Or I don't know. It's crazy.
Mate, it really was. Now, Riley, I know this about you, my friend, that you are a Harry Morrison fan. He and Massimo's ability, mate, to play the inside-outside winger is awesome. I think he did kind of go unrewarded today, especially in that third quarter where he had the space 20 metres from the kicker. Unfortunately, the bloke 45 metres away from the kicker had space as well, so the Hawks took the territory. But structurally, his ability to play that Ed Langdon style boundary line side winger is very, very important. And whether you think he's best 22 or that next man up, I think he's got an important role to play. And congratulations to Big HMO on his 100th game too.
Absolutely. No, he's done well to hang in there. I guess he was on the outer for a little bit, and we all know he's better than VFL level. And it was just bad timing, I guess, and hard to get into a winning team. He's got his chance, and hope he keeps his spot because he absolutely deserves it. So it's a very hard decision at that selection table now.
Mate, it sure is. Josh Ward getting a bit of love that could come in. I think he had 20 today, which is nice.
Sounded like he had solid numbers. The other one's probably Henry Huswaite, who has performed well at the level, but yeah, who knows?
Mate, the long neck himself. I love Henry. You don't need to miss me twice. Eddie, I am going to put your comment up here, mate, obviously because it's right in front of me, but on behalf of everyone that's talking about Chad Wingard, mate, I'm going to be honest with you. First game of the year for a bloke who we would consider a veteran being a final or potentially next week. Am I crazy for saying probably not is my instinctual answer? I would probably be a no for the Chad. What about you?
Yeah, no, there's too many in front of him, I think. And but yeah, I really hope the boys get around him, and likewise he gets around the boys and can celebrate as a team, whether he's out in the park or not.
Could Finn come in, whether for a tagging or non-tagging role? Harry Sheasel and Luke Davies-Uniacke are going to be the two around the footy that are going to worry the Hawks the most. No disrespect to Tom Powell or to Georgie Wardlaw, but I don't think either of those boys are going to get tagged at this part of their career. So,
that was a fair call on McGuinness because he has had some pretty solid VFL form, and he's probably a lot more flexible over the other guys as far as he can play forward and can go back if needed. So, don't mind that. It's probably a pretty straightforward inclusion, actually. Probably over Ward.
There you go. I like it. Craig, good news for you, my friend. Cam Mackenzie passed his concussion test and actually came back on, which is fantastic. I am also with you, though, that in the 24 and 48 hours afterwards, he will have to be checked for symptoms as well. So fingers crossed that Frenchie is okay. Just a dozen possessions today. Frenchie, how have you seen his year, mate? By Frenchie. I think he's been one of the more intriguing players this year. He probably hasn't had that breakout game, mainly because of the midfielders that are around him. Looks polished, looks clean at times. He's an interesting one, Frenchie. Give me a rundown, mate.
No, I think he's really improved. I think he was doing a lot of running unrewarded early on, wasn't just quite getting to the right spots, bit unsure where to go and what to do, but he's found his place now in the side. I think he's just learnt the ropes and the structures, and I think I mentioned it earlier in the season to you that now he's taking on the tackle and giving the ball off, so drawing the players, which a lot of the team is doing now, and I think that's how we're creating that run. So I'm very impressed. He's been hitting the scoreboard as well, so very happy with his season.
Happy with Frenchie, we love that. Matt, now you're speaking my language. This is the real nuffiness that we've come here for. GWS, their first final, and then GWS at the MCG. Now, unfortunately, that means we would have to finish top 4, and GWS would have to finish on top, because if we beat them in the first final, they would get eliminated, so that can't really work, but I love your optimism. Hawks finish 4th, GWS somehow get on top of Sydney. I'm with you. I'm golden. I like it a lot. Last time we played North, they didn't play, won by 40-odd. Not sure North have improved since then. Oh, they have. Today was not good, and everything that came of that. But if any of you are brave enough to tell Clarko that you're not going to take a game against the Hawks in order to ruin our season, seriously, I don't think we know Clarko enough, mate, if we remember what he did to Fev in 2008. You reckon he's not going to try and get one back on us?
He will try his hardest. I don't know if he's got the cattle at disposal to do that, but yeah. Good luck, Clarko.
Danielle, no, we won't. It doesn't look like that will happen at all because of the fact that the club is Victorian. Is the way that I understand that. And also there are machinations that it could be, if the Dogs do play the Hawks, the machinations could be that will be the only final in week 1 in Melbourne, in which case the AFL contract states it has to be at the MCG. So we know Sydney are going to host a qualifying final. We think Port Adelaide or GWS are going to host the other one, finishing second. So if the Bulldogs do finish 6th and we finish 7th, then we would have to hope that Brisbane finish 5th and, Carlton or Freo finish 8th. Therefore, Geelong finish 4th. They would have to play interstate. So would the Port Adelaide GWS game, would obviously be interstate. Bulldogs Hawthorn would have to be at the MCG under the AFL contract. And then, of course, Brisbane playing Carlton would be at the Gabba circa last year's preliminary final.
Cats still in that scenario, Daz? I thought I heard them say that they
could finish 4th. Yeah.
No, but they don't get a home game if that's the only Melbourne team. Do they have to play at the G?
Nope, they would have to play at the G. Yep.
As well, yep.
Yep. Alrighty.
Imagine the crowd. That'd be 100. It'd be close to 100, wouldn't it, if Hawks play Cats in that first final?
Mate, absolutely. I'm not going to lie to you, Craigo. This confused me because Will Phillips plays for North. So I was trying to dissect this for a little bit, but Will, and I think you mean Ethan Phillips, get a run next week if Scrimmer misses. To be honest, I hope so. We've kind of got 2 James Sicily Juniors down there, mate, in Ethan Phillips and Will McCabe. So that's, look, 1 James Sicily is fun.
And then you got Jai Sarong. Jai Sarong's been knocking the door down too.
Yeah, he absolutely has. I like the way Jai's playing back shoulder at the VFL as well. So I like that. No Charlie Comben in defence. Well, or up forward, got concussed. Yeah, that was a shame. That collision with Jamari Ugle-Hagan did not look good at all. David, I think we're all with you. Awesome. And yeah, Daryl, you're spot on. Unlikely that one would be at Marvel. Squad lock for Massimo. Yes, absolutely. Well, it looks like, mate, that we're just setting up the riot squad at this point. Mm-hmm. We'll just peacefully protest. We'll come up with some chants. We'll really bring out our EPL side, I think, there and just get some chants going. We just need to figure out a way we can equate AFL to bankers because I can think of some pretty good rhymes for that if Massimo doesn't get into the squad. Cyberpunk brings up a really good question, mate. Surely Sam Mitchell, Coach of the Year. Could he win a Coach of the Year before Clarko does? Because Clarko didn't.
He was absolutely robbed.
Is that not the weirdest stat robbery of all time? Yeah, like when you think of it, 08, Geelong only lost 1 game. Fair enough, considering the All-Australian team's usually announced in the prelim week. At finals time before the granny. So that's all good. And then 2011, Collingwood had only lost 3 games. Fine, makes kind of sense. Why the hell he didn't win it in 2012, I've got no idea. The Hawks were so far the best team. 13 Freo, 14 Sydney, and 15 West Coast. And then we just looked at him and went, mate, you can take your Coach of the Year and I'll take the Jock McHale medal. Thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Cop that.
Is what it is. Is what it is.
Mate, absolutely. Alrighty, we got Sarong in if Scrimmer doesn't get up, mate. It looks like we are not bereft of options.
No, the flexibility we've built within our team, it's phenomenal. So, yeah, I don't think there's too many we can't cover besides maybe Big Meek.
For sure. Now, David brings up a really good point here, mate, and it came up in a different group chat. So if you'll forgive me, Hawthorn fans, I'm going to jump on my phone here just for a second about Guinea. Now, this could take me a while because nope, here we go, I've got it. So, Jack Ginnivan at Collingwood. Now, we know that his work rate is up and his ability to get up the ground is key. And I agree with the run out of steam bit in terms of his finishing because at Collingwood, mate, he kicked 58 goals, 30. So, nearly 66%. 2 out of every 3 shots went through. At Hawthorn this year, he's kicked 23-25 with 8 non-scores. And I honestly think he's just gassed by the time he's taking a set shot. For good or for bad, but I reckon he can go to another level, mate. He could kick 5 in an elimination final, I reckon, Guinea. That game pre-finals bye.
That game against Collingwood where he had 30 touches, he is primed for finals footy, I reckon, that kid.
Mate, isn't he what? My goodness. Now, Hawthorn fans, Dazzling's going to have to head off in about 10 minutes. So, we're going to roll through a few things here. Harry Morrison is Ken Judge's godson. There you go. Didn't know that. Excellent. So we've talked about Chad already, guys, so I apologise if it seems like I'm skipping through your questions here. Now, this is interesting, Shano, and I want to give this to you, Chris, as a question because you were there. Joe Botson and Nathan Jones, I think it was, who were the special comments, who gave Shea Bolton the win over Dimmer in their one-on-one because of his scoreboard impact. And I just have to ask you, my friend, what game were they watching?
Nah, not for mine. Yeah, he's flashy when he gets it, but no, Dimmer won that hands down, in my opinion.
He had 5 score involvements from the back half. Did Dimmer?
Yep.
And look, Shea did have 7. Don't get me wrong, 7 score involvements is pretty damn handy. 4 of those being his own scores, but no, Dimmer was fantastic today. This is an interesting call. If Seamus does come in, time to give him a run in the middle or on the wing. Let him loose to run. Now, we've got a healthy supply of wingers, my friend, but there's something about Seamus on a wing that's getting me very, very excited.
He's got a very nice kick. I don't mind it. But like you said, I don't know that maybe. Well, they've sort of been rotating the wingers off the bench, sort of 3 of them been rotating. So he could be part of that rotation.
All right, mate. Let's say we do run a tag somehow, if whether Finn comes in or we play that role. Lockdown Sheasel or lockdown Luke Davies-Uniacke. Both tantalising prospects to shut down. And weirdly enough, I actually think I'm going LDU as the man to shut down.
Yeah, well, Sheasel's played off the back half, hasn't he? More than the middle. So,
he's gone in there the last sort of 10 weeks, mate. He has been tearing it up.
Well, let's just you start on LDU, and if Sheasel gets off the leash, then you make the swap.
Yeah, mate, for sure. And Cyberpunk, don't do this to me. Don't remind me of the Port and the Collingwood games. What are you doing? What, the Giants? It's close as well. Oh boy. Dominique, good crowd size today being a Sunday game, which was good to see. Love the Sunday games. As one who plays country sport, Sundays are the best. Friday nights would work too. Well, good news for you, Dominique. We are getting them next year.
100%.
If the fixture goers are looking at the way Hawthorn's playing and going, you know what they don't deserve? Prime time. They're off their head.
Yep. I think opposition supporters like watching, as much as they hate Hawthorn, I think they enjoy watching us play footy.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. North look like they've shut up shop for the year. Well, their ladder position won't get worse, so they haven't, and it won't get better. Well, they could actually if they beat us and they drop, but they don't want pick 2 anyway. They want to drop down. So, anyway, mate, I think we've spoken about this a little bit, but my instincts say, God, no. As soon as you take your foot off the brake, mate, they'll go past you.
No, I was talking to Matt about that and just saying, yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. I think we just roll with our best team and push hard, because since it's like going into a contest and going in half-assed, you're going to get injured. If you don't put everything into it, So I think it's the same applies for the game, and you don't want to take the foot off at the end of the game either. You don't want to just have an easy last quarter. Yeah, you want to put the foot on the throat and play all 4 quarters.
Mate, absolutely. Now, David, I'd love to be able to tell you, mate, being optimistic is what we're about. I could also tell you at 0-5 finals looked impossible, so you never know. Until I realised that in your scenario, which you're 100% right about, by the way, we have to barrack for West Coast, Essendon and St Kilda. So we'll see you in the elimination final round, because like hell am I doing any of those things. Especially the second one. Brisbane, no, just get the job done, please.
I did say to my son in the car, I didn't expect to be barracking for West Coast this afternoon. I really didn't want Carlton to beat us on percentage this round.
No, not at all, mate. What do you think assists at the moment?
I thought each week he'd been progressively sort of getting more involved in contests, but again, he doesn't like playing in front, I don't think, because he doesn't want his arms getting chopped from above. So he's probably leaning towards protecting space and trying to take chest marks. If he's behind, he doesn't mind flying and going for a spoil or a mark. So he's purely just managing it, and I think he's doing a great job at protecting it. And yeah, we're better out there. We're better off with him out there. So if he can keep managing that and play to his best, I think.
Mate, I'm with you. Now, there's nothing like a good kick to your self-esteem here than what Jim Bob's running with. Now, I know that I'm a perfect specimen for you to look at, Jim, and unfortunately for me, my friend, someone else thinks so as well. All right, so as hard as it is for you to believe, yeah, I do, all right? So a little less surprise would be appreciated, okay? But I love your work, Jim, and you wouldn't be the only one surprised by that, I'm telling you. Alrighty.
I have just seen this one.
Oh boy.
While we're on the topic.
while we're on the topic, this ought to be good.
There it is, mate.
Hit me, mate. Can you read that to me? Because I can't actually see it on my screen.
Sheasel ruled out of the game for next week with syndesmosis injury.
Oh, there you go. All right, well, then I'm definitely taking Luke Davies-Uniacke then, probably. Yeah.
All right, back to you, mate. Wherever you're up to.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. Mate, prime gunners, oh, my goodness. Alrighty. Yeah, no more Sundays. Actually, I'll float this question to you, mate, as we go through the last of the questions here. What's the worst time slot for you? Just don't worry about what the other fans think. For you, what is the worst day and time? Whether it's to try to go to a game or watch it at home, what time slot do you hate?
The Sunday arvos do suck, but Saturday arvos has been killing me with the kids' sport as well. So I can't win personally in my scenario.
No, fair.
The night games are the ones for me to get to.
Fair. Now, Tom, why are you doing this to me, man? So you do realise we only get one heart each, right? From well, like, come on, what? No. Batman. Shano, yeah, free. That's the worst joke I've ever made. All right. Now, double dummy. I need to ask you a question. Is this to go to or to watch at home? I assume you mean going to. I hope it is, because watching Thursday night on the couch is God's gift to me, and I'm not even religious. So I hope you mean going there, in which case I'll have an extreme amount of sympathy.
But when they do it, are they big-time fixtures? They can, as much as I love it, I agree with you. The Thursday night game, I love it because it's a work night and you still get a footy, but there's been a few dud Thursday night games too.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Paul, well, if only there was one in Western Australia who wants to come to the Hawks on a 5-year deal that could be available, and the fact that he's contracted till 2027 means that West Coast will want 2 first-round picks, but you try telling people that and they will chew you apart.
Where are you at the battle versus Barras?
Mate.
If you get one, who are you picking out of the two?
I think you got to say battle because you're not giving up draft comp.
Yep.
I think that does take
got money in the bank.
Yeah, that is a big factor. But in terms of which player suits us, like if we could just grab one now and just plonk them in there, I'm taking Tom Barras every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
And might be a silly question, but are you taking both?
Yep.
Is there room for both?
Yep.
Without kicking Frosty out of the team?
Well, at the end of next year, Frosty will be 33. And if I said to anyone out there that Sam Frost is going to be our potentially 4th best key defender, I think we'd take that. We really would. And if Hawthorn are pursuing him as aggressively as we can, they think he is going to be a missing piece. And after the deals that we've done, mate, I'm more than happy to trust him. I know Barras has had some problems with his back, but no one has done medical research on footballers better than we have. Hello, Sean Burgoyne, if you're listening. And we ain't giving 5 years to a bloke who's not going to play under the conditions he's playing with now, is all I'm going to say. And speaking of battle as well, he is one of only 4 Saints players this year to have 20 and kick 2 in the same game, and ironically, that was against us. But there you go. But let's go through the last couple of questions, guys. Who was your best on ground? Of course, our MVP votes will be coming through tomorrow. So whether it's first name, last name, or just a player. Absolutely. Go through. Disagree. Contracted till 2027. They can absolutely have a player there that they don't need. Hawks first. Collingwood second. DGB for Barras. The Denver one's weird for me because he's out of contract. So hypothetically, if West Coast wanted him, would they not wait for us to delist him and just pick him up for free?
Yeah, okay. Interesting one.
But if we did go down that road. Look, James, if that's the deal, I'm signing that in a heartbeat. Pick 11, 28, which is what those 2 picks are at the moment. I'm golden. If we don't give up 2 first-round picks for Denver, for Tom, I'm over the moon. But from what I've been told by people that I trust in this space, at the moment, it's 2 firsts and more. this point. Now, I don't think it's going to end up at this point, which is why for my mock trade, I did a second round swap, which, by the way, went bananas. But it's going to be a hard, mate, 2027. West Coast have all the leverage in the world, even if he asks for a trade. They can hold him to his contract. They absolutely can do that. Whew. Alrighty. I'm going to get myself worked up here. Jimmy Warple getting a lot of love for the BOGs. Yep. Nick, I ask myself this question as well, and then I say, if we are going mid-year on a plane from South Australia to Western Australia instead of Victoria to talk to Tom Barrass, we clearly think our premiership window is further open with him there than Jimmy. I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm saying that that's the message that we have got to take out of this conversation. Now, Sam's got a big connection to Tom, who, of course, 2018 premiership player, and Sam was an assistant coach there at that time. Tommy, a best and fairest winner as well in 2020, I believe. So, yeah, is what it is.
To go from a position where we've been relatively weak and then have a lot of depth, it's, interesting.
Mate, absolutely.
Deal's not done yet.
No, deal's not done. And I hope and pray that we can get it less than 2 first rounders. I really do. Will we be able to? Who knows? But we'll see. Big props to Gunners getting a few bits of love there. So Warps and Gunners, interesting. Just quickly, mate, before we head off, because I really do need to get out the door. I can feel myself getting in trouble already. Joy Newcoombe had 33 disposals today, 15 score involvements.
Ooh. Yeah, no, he was dynamite. He's definitely well and truly entrenched in that MVP voting, I think, within the squad.
I think so. 15 score involvements from 33 touches. Warple had 11 from 29 disposals. Nick Watson had 10 score involvements from 12 disposals.
Weapon.
What the hell?
And C-Mac, I haven't looked at many stats. I think C-Mac was up there too.
Yeah, he had 9 from 24 as well. That is crazy. That is nuts. All right, Hawks fans, we're going to have to wrap this up because Dazzling has got to and go. So, few shameless self-plugs. Oh, not shameless plugs, I should say, coming in. So, Talking Hawks. If you're watching this on YouTube, go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or X if he's called Twitter X, which, like, no one does. So, we're just going to stick with Twitter and go from there. Get around the Talking Hawks podcast as well. 6 points will be dropping in the next couple of days as well. We'll go through the 6 major talking points out of the win, which is going to be awesome. If you've got any questions that you want us to answer on the pod, you can reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter as well. We've got the lads that get on there and answer pretty frequently, so you can do that. And hey, if you're enjoying my work and you want to know what I think about other things to do with footy, you can follow me at Daz Talks Footy on YouTube, in which I'm doing a video dropping tomorrow on a team we all hate. So if you want to jump in there and rag it on them for a little bit, get on board. So that would be appreciated. But I appreciate you guys jumping on. Chris, I appreciate you jumping on, mate. You've been a star, as were the Hawks. Can't wait for the North Melbourne game, mate. Anything that you want to bring or say or do, mate, before we head off?
No, mate, I think we've covered it pretty well. Thanks for taking the reins, mate. It's good to have you back.
It is an absolute pleasure, and what a win it was. Mate. What's that, mate? Sorry?
I said you're a fan favourite, mate.
Oh, mate, the fans are the favourites. Let me tell you, that is the way we roll around here. So, Hawthorn fans, look after yourselves, look after each other, and we will see you on YouTube, especially after the North Melbourne win, with a preview for September coming later on. See you guys, and go the Hawks.